Hello everyone, and recently on Mastercraft, I created a pretty custom zombie converter that converts the zombies, and it's really compact. If we come up here and we look down, we can see that it basically only takes up half a chunk. The only part that's over the half mark is this bit over here, but that's the spawner, which we're also going to be doing a tutorial on today. So today we're going to be doing a block by block tutorial of basically how I built this thing so that you guys can build it yourself. And what you need is here, 2 sticky pistons, 5 redstone torches, 10 repeaters, and everything else in this box. The bottom few here will be for the zombies, and the rest will be for the build itself. So let's go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be building is going to be the main body of this building over here, the converter building. And you're going to need about 98 building blocks for this thing. Not just the building, but the entire thing here. You're going to need 98 building blocks for. I'm going to be using glass because you can see through it, so you can see what's happening inside. So, but you can use anything you want. So, if the first thing you want to do is count 5 blocks away from the corner of the chunk, and then go up 3 blocks, and this is where you want to put your first piece of glass. And then you're just gonna make a 2x2 box 3 high going up, and you're gonna make 2 of those. And it should end up looking like this. So as you can see, we have a 2x2 box that goes up 3 high, and we have 2 of those that's going up. So basically we have a 4x8 rectangular prism that will hold the villagers with the zombie converter. Next, right over here on the left side of your box, you want to dig a hole. It doesn't have to be a very deep hole. I'm just gonna dig a tiny little hole here, and it should end up something like that. And we're gonna leave that hole there for now, and we're gonna work more on it later. So now we're gonna move on to the actual redstone. We're gonna start off on the bottom, and on the bottom you want to put 1 building block there. That's gonna be the building block that moves so that the villager can fall down once it's been converted. Then you want to put a piece of string here and an observer next to the string facing into it so that you can detect when the villager gets down here. After that, you're gonna break these 3 building blocks and you're gonna replace them with stone, because the stone is a block that can be powered with redstone, which glass cannot be. But if you're not using glass for the build, then it is pretty good that any other building block should work pretty well for this, and if it doesn't, then you can just replace it. So then you're gonna put 2 pieces of redstone here, just like this, and then you're gonna make a 4-tick repeater chain like this. So 2 set to 4 ticks, then a redstone, and then 2 more set to 4 ticks, and then another piece of redstone, and then you just add all of them until you only have 1 left. So there should end up being 5 repeaters on the last line. Then you're gonna break this piece of glass, and you're gonna put a sticky piston right there, facing inwards. After that, you're just gonna place a redstone torch here, replace this piece of glass with a stone actually, and your bottom is basically done. So to test this, all you have to do is just walk in, and then you watch the repeaters, and yep, they moved over, and it gave you enough time to fall down. Now once this is done, you're just gonna fill the rest of the right side in with glass blocks, and you're basically done with the bottom for now. Now we're gonna move on to the top. And for the top, it's gonna be basically the same, but you're really just gonna need less materials. So again, you're gonna put the string on the second block this time, and then the observer facing into the string to power the block. Then you would come back here, and if you're in survival mode, you would scaffold, and then you would just come over here. So you would place 3 blocks going out, then you place 3 more blocks, but you break the other 2 so that you get those blocks back. Then you break that building block because you're going to need to move the block behind it, and you build 3 blocks out and place a piston facing inwards, and you might have to place one of your blocks back to get it to go in, but once you have it in like this, then you're done. And then all you have to do is place a redstone torch here to power it, put 2 pieces of redstone dust here, your last repeater set to 4 ticks, and then 2 more pieces of redstone dust like that, and you're finished with the redstone for this whole build. And to test it again, you would just walk over here and it falls down. And then the other one should also work. Yep. It came out just enough, and it took just long enough for your villager to be able to get converted by the zombie. So that's all the redstone that you're gonna need. Now, the only thing left for you to do with this build before you're finished with it, this part, is to get your zombie. Now, before you get your zombie, you're gonna place 1 piece of glass here, and an oak trapdoor here, and you're gonna open the oak trapdoor. Next, in preparation for your zombie, you're going to break these 2 blocks, and if you are not using glass, then it should be pretty simple, but if you are using glass, then hopefully you have a silk touch pickaxe. If not, then you might have to make a bit more glass. You should also break the string here, because you're going to be needing to walk through this spot a lot to get your zombie into the right spot. So you should leave the string over there. Next, you're gonna build an extra 4x4 layer around your bottom layer of the build, and you're gonna leave this little spot open because that's where you're gonna lure the zombie into. Then you're gonna find a zombie that can pick up items, and you're gonna give it an iron sword and an iron helmet. Now I already have one here, and you're probably gonna need to be in hard mode for this to work, because villagers only have an 100% chance of being converted in hard mode, which is why you need to be in hard mode for this farm to work. But I already have a zombie here, and I've given it an iron sword and an iron helmet so that it doesn't die in the sun. And you also want to name your zombie. I just named the zombie, but you can name it whatever you want, and this will prevent it from despawning if you ever unload the chunks. So now, if I go into game mode survival, and I open this trapdoor, or break the trapdoor, the zombie should start following me, and all you want to do is lure the zombie all the way into the little hole that you've made over here. And once you make it here, you just want to open it for you and then close it once the zombie gets here so that it can't get through, and then you're going to place, or see if you can place, 1 block right behind the zombie so that it can't get out. And that's how you trap your zombie. And at this point, if you're using glass and you're outside, I suggest you just replace the piece of glass above the zombie with stone, so that if the zombie somehow loses its helmet, it won't die from the sun. So now we're going to build the villager breeder. What you want to do is you want to go 6 blocks away from your converter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. and you're going to place one block of glass here. Now, if you have any temporary blocks and you're using glass, I suggest you use those here, like some dirt or something, because you're going to pillar 2 blocks up, and then you're going to make like a T or a cross shape right here like this, and then you can break these 2 pieces of glass. Then you're going to extend your cross shape up 2 extra blocks so that it's 3 blocks high, and you're not going to want that piece of glass in the middle, and you should end up with something like this. After that, it gets really quick, so you would just place 8 slabs around the hole in the center. Then you place 4 beds like this above the slabs, and then you'd place 8 trapdoors right above the beds. And then finally, you put 1 oak fence in the center. And then you place 4 oak trapdoors at the bottom so that the babies can't get out. And this is your breeder. So once you have the villagers up there, you can give them some bread or some potatoes or some carrots, and they'll make their babies, and the babies will fall down here until they grow up, and then you can transport them all the way up there and convert them into a zombie villager for the best deals. So now we're going to create our transportation system to get our villagers up into the converter. So first, you're going to place a dispenser here or anywhere along this line. As long as it's not like right next to it, you can place it anywhere over here on this line to get the villagers. Then you would just place 4 or however many you need of powered rails to get here, and then you place 1 piece of glass and you replace these with rails there. Next, you would just make a little staircase with any block that you want, going all the way up to your first platform where the villager would drop down, and you'd place 4 powered rails here and 1 rail there. Then you just connect these like this, and this is fine. The minecart will just drop down instead of smoothly going down, but that is still fine. And finally, you would take your redstone torches and you would power these rails like this. And before you get your villagers to go up, just place 3 blocks of stone there so that the villager takes some extra suffocation damage so that the zombie can kill it in time with an iron sword. And that's basically the entire farm completed. So if you just place a stone button here and fill this thing up with minecarts, then once your villagers are all grown up in here, you can press the button and this whole thing should work. Alright, so we can actually do a test run right now. It's preferable for when you do it for your villagers to be near this edge, so see if you can get them to be near that edge over there so the minecart can pick them up easily. If not, and they're somewhere around over here, then the minecart might not be able to pick any of them up. So if we press the button, yep, the villagers weren't near enough to this edge, so the minecart wasn't able to pick them up. Alright, so let's try this again. If we press this button, the villager was picked up. It drops down. The zombie hits it with an iron sword a few times. The villager dies. And we forgot to put the string back. So don't forget to put the string back above the observer or else it won't work. Alright, so now, as you can see, it's working. The repeaters fall down and the zombie falls. And it took a bit of fall damage when it fell, but that's easily avoidable if you just add a single rail anywhere. So then the rail falls down and connects to this rail and the zombie doesn't take any damage. So then all you have to do would be to add, like, say, a lectern here, and then if you have weakness arrows, then you can make it even more automated with it dropping down and getting hit with a weakness arrow. But this is good, and then once you cure it, it'll give you 1 emerald trades for any book you want. But yeah, that's basically gonna be it for this episode. I just thought that I'd show you guys how I built this villager converter into the zombie converter, so that you guys can maybe make it yourself. And obviously, it's really compact. If we come up here, we can see that this time we even somehow managed to make it inside half a chunk. So this is a really compact design, and it's pretty easy to build. You don't need that many things. I think it's a pretty good early game villager converter. Maybe it's even possible to like link these together and you can have multiple converters going on at once, which is what I did, but I don't use all of them. So this is like a really good design, and I think that hopefully you guys will enjoy using this design for your own builds. And I'll see you in the next episode of Mastercraft Season 2.